You can support this show at patreon.com/ASA podcasting.
What is it with the Roundtable stuff?
The wasteland is a post-apocalyptic mess as the sole survivor wanders out about to see the rest. Nuclear explosions sending out the gamma rays from deep within the core, frozen atomic waves. From deep within the core, frozen atomic waves.
Hello and welcome to the 487th edition of the Fallout Feed. I am Andrew, joined by a flock of my favorite Fallout folks. Tonight, I've got Jess. What's up, Jess?
Hey, Andrew. Greeps, everybody.
And what is going on, Ray?
Hello.
Tonight on the show, we will go over our recent gameplay, as per the usual. Then we'll get into some feedback. It's a feedback week. Looking forward to hearing about all of our folks' first adventures out and about in the Fallout 76 wasteland. We'll hear from Eric, Vanessa, Lee, and Sean tonight. Then we'll also hear from Will, but in the capacity of Fallout Terminal Velocity, our terminals, letters, and holotape project. If you're interested, follow Will's lead here. We also have some iguana bits coming up, a couple of points there, and a shout coming on the way out the door. So let's go ahead and roll right into it, see what everyone's getting into. Hey, Jess, did you have a chance to play any video games this week?
Oh, wow. I get to go first. Kapow. So, I played a little bit of Starfield. I won't get super into that right now because I will say, check out the Starfield Lorecast. First episode out today, episode 53, but my first solo episode. And yeah, I have a great guest, D.W. Pierce. We talk a lot of Starfield, but the thing about Darren is he is a game dev and writer. He's written for a lot of tabletop games, some video games, and so he's got a really neat perspective. So it's a bit of an interview, but we also talk Starfield gameplay. And, you know, there's a lot there, so I won't double cover it. But I will say my quest to get all achievements in Shattered Space continues. I did make a little bit of progress, right? So the problem was I was not getting the cysts I needed, the vortex cysts. I was getting like fancy ones. I was getting glowing. I was getting dark, and I was getting vortex shards, but not vortex cysts. Well, it turns out, even going back, and I'll get into the whole story over there, but even going back, I was having trouble finding them until I started killing the Brahmin. I mean, Groats. Sorry, Groats. They only have one head, but two horns. But yeah, so those vortex Brahmin, they happen to have vortex cysts. So I was on the hunt for any phantom Brahmin / Groats I could find. So that was kind of my resolution to that. I finally got all the cysts I needed. I am still one short. I was hoping. Yeah. Okay. Now, wouldn't it be nice? And tell me, Ray, wouldn't it be nice if for an achievement, they tracked everything you did in the game, not everything you did in the save, right? That way you could use the 3 you have, then reload a save, make 3 different ones, and have them count. It doesn't. It needs to do them all in one character, one save. So I'm so close. One more Phantom Groat. They're just not super common.
So did you raid all the Groat farms?
I tried to. Yeah, I mean, there might be more. The most helpful one was the Hermit Groat farm, because that is fully vortexed out. Them Groat are all phantoms up there. Over to the east and west, I didn't find more Groat farms, and of course the regular Groat farms didn't seem to have phantom ones, but there are some out in the wild here and there as you wander, so I will do it. One away, we're going to get that done. But yeah, just really excited to have launched the new show and have it out, and hopefully people enjoy. It's a bit of an
wouldn't really be an achievement if it was easy to get, would it?
I mean, that's true, but okay, you make a very good point. I do like the rare achievements on Xbox where it pops up, you get the special noise. If less than 10% people have it, you get the little diamond and the rare achievement icon, and it does like this little sizzle. And I'm like, damn, I'm special. So yeah, I do like that.
I didn't realize Starfield was so lewd, dirty. The sharts and
gross.
All the
Vortex shards.
Oh, shards. Sorry.
Yeah, very, very different. I mean, that would also be painful because those things are kind of pokey. But
Ooh, ouchie.
but that's Starfield. Also, what I mostly played this week was Dragon Age, and just continuing on through there, about 45 to 50 hours in now. Still not as far as I'd like. It's the kind of game you can go deep on. You can absolutely just explore everything. Like if you want to focus on just the quest, you could be done in 50, 60 hours, I think. But you know me, I'm so not. So trying to 100% everything, get all those achievements, yes, and find all the collectibles. And so it's going well. I will say again, I got into last week. I am really positive on the game, but I know last week I talked a little bit about the writing occasionally being a bit Marvel-esque and juvenile, and that's true. But the story itself is great, and overall, I really like the characters. Like, if you enjoy WB or CW shows, okay, if you can watch The Flash and have a good time, you're gonna love it because it's a great story. It's just fun, as opposed to deep at times. A little bit of both, of course. A little bit of both. So yeah, loving that. Taking way too many pictures as well. I am way behind on posting pictures. Way behind. So, hopefully you see more of them soon. I still have to finish my Shattered Space pictures, let alone Dragon Age. As far as for Fallout this week, I did not get into 76 a lot. I did play some last weekend. Got to make sure Hard Knock is getting his knocks in. But he's only like level 26. So I got like maybe one level, maybe two. So not as much as I would have liked, but he is psyched and ready to go on the next couple of quests we have with the Brotherhood for next week, which is good because I don't want to, as I've said, level up too much. I want the quest to be a little bit hard. Not that I'm getting any achievement for that, but that way you got to really focus on what skills you have. That's with the Roundtable, when you've got your specific skills, your specific weapons you might be used to, I like being able to not just like OP overpower things. So he'll be doing that. However, I did have a couple cool things this week. So I was supposed to get my Fallout TV show Pip-Boy, the Pip-Boy 3000 Mark V specifically is what they're saying this one is that Lucy and everybody in Vault 33 has. I was supposed to get it on Monday, and I've got the tracking info, all that, and it doesn't show all day. All day I am waiting. Do I turn on the porch light for the delivery guy? Yes. I turn on the porch light. I got a few other things this week, so it's great. Got some pre-holiday shopping in for people. So, I was getting packages, but I was like, this is not the package you're looking for, except in a bad way because I wanted it. So I did it again on Tuesday, and no, nothing on Tuesday. And I'm going and I'm checking the USPS site because it's coming via the Postal Service. And it's like, arrived at distribution center, Buffalo. Sent to distribution center, Rochester. Why the hell did we go to Rochester? Sent to distribution center, Buffalo. Okay, good, we're on track. Sent to Rochester. What? They were ping-ponging my package back and forth between distribution centers for 3-4 days. I wanted to grab a tracking device and shove it so far up ahead, up that package, that I could then locate it because I was so scared it wasn't going to get to me. But then finally, late Wednesday night, it showed up, and I was very happy. So I, for my follow gameplay, it was actually the game of tracking the package. So I got that, which is awesome. It is super cool. I played with it a little bit. It does fit. It's very wearable. It's smaller than the other Pip-Boy, like my Sugar Bomb Pip-Boy I have behind me. It is definitely smaller, easier to wear, so great for cosplay on the go.
Said still sort of flimsy plastic. I remember some people complaining that the previous one was a little
no, it's heavy.
Not too durable or something. But this one's cool.
It's heavy material.
Great.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, it's solid. And being more compact, it's a little bit sturdier too. And it's got a little padding in it.
Nice.
It's great. I've heard it doesn't fit some people. Some people have had to remove the padding if they've got big arms. So it's one size fits all. So it doesn't fit some guys. But
yeah.
But it's good. It fits, Lucy, no problem. And I'm bigger than her, but ain't that big. So I'm good. let's see. So, but that's not the only cool thing I got for Fallout. So, I also was
I
sent.
saw that.
Did you saw that? So,
Yeah.
Mattel sent me the Mega Bloks Red Rocket set to check out. The Red Rocket Garage and T60 Power Armor stand and all that. It is very cool. I've opened it. I've looked at the pieces. They're smaller than I expected, but it's going to be totally doable. So I'll probably build it over the weekend just to kind of see how it comes together, take some pictures. It's like 864 pieces for the Red Rocket
Nice.
and
Dude.
300 some, 360 some for the Power Armor. So there's a bit to it.
I'm curious. Can you take Dogmeat's little head and turn it so he's like trying to listen to you? You know what I mean? Like, can you cockeye his little head?
If you can't play with dog meat, it would be literally unplayable. So
And
hopefully,
did he get a teddy bear? For some reason, those were like the two things that popped in my head when I saw that set. I was like, "Ooh, that's
I
awesome."
didn't see a teddy bear, but there's a lot in those packages. So I will I will dig in.
Little quantum bottles look pretty cool. It's awesome. They give you some good junk to toss around.
I'll get some good pics
Yeah.
so everybody can, in the Discord at least, and Facebook and probably socials, can see it in detail because most pics are zoomed out, and I'm going to get in there and like actually show you what's there.
Man,
So yeah, I just
thank God
really
when
happy
you're
to get
your pop culture IP that you like does a good TV show, it just blows up all your merch and everything. You get all sorts of cool stuff. And are we gonna get? You know what? That show's so good, they might actually make a Fallout video game. That'd be cool.
I sometimes video game tie-ins for popular shows are not great though.
Maybe
So I
they're
don't
not
know.
great. Yeah, that'd be terrible. I don't want
Yeah,
to play a
I've-
Fallout video game anyway.
When people license things, it's just, come up with something original. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on. This Todd Howard guy is an excellent producer on this show. Someone should take a
Good,
tip
good
from him and
TV
make a video
producer,
game.
but who knows if he can make a video game? I mean, come on.
I always say, I've literally never said that, but still, yes.
As
Absolutely.
I've never said.
But so my Fallout gameplay has been a little weak this week because of Dragon Age and Starfield, but all good. And next week will be a very 76 week checking out the new stuff. I did get in and took a look at some bundles and stuff like that, so we'll talk about that in the Iguana bits. But otherwise, that's my gameplay. I'm curious what Ray has been up to and if it's exactly what I think.
Ooh. Are you stalking?
It is exactly what you think, and almost exclusively Stalker 2. It was so I ran into a spot that I was really having a hard time defeating the mutant that was in this one little area, and just could not progress the quest. I was stuck in a space that I couldn't get out of without completing the mission. But I just couldn't, save after save after save. And so finally I'm like, okay, I need to step away from this. It's getting to be a little bit much. So I quit out and, thought, I'll pop into 76 and try to run some events
Good call.
and do a little bit of character building there.
On public?
Yeah,
Okay.
and so I did that for a few hours, and then the next day went back into Stalker and got through the section I was trying to get through, and kept on rolling. So it was, I got maybe 2 or 3 hours of 76 in, and all the rest of it has been in Stalker 2.
So which was more difficult?
So Stalker 2, drastically more difficult gameplay, but so much easier to play.
Oh, Yeah, I was going to say, because I know there's, a relearning curve in some ways on 76 for you. What do you consider easier to play on it? The fact there are less systems or?
But yeah, I mean, there's less going on in Stalker. You've got, you're all you're doing the whole time, besides doing your quests is, you know, gathering medical supplies, gathering ammunition. And if you've got, any extra time, you pick up some stuff to sell to the vendors, to make a little cash, because you've got to, after you've gone, for a little bit questing, you need to get back to the technician and have them repair your armor and repair your guns. Because it definitely, if your weapon degrades, it'll start jamming.
Oh.
And so you'll be bang, bang, click, crap. I gotta stop. And then you have to go through the animation of unjamming your weapon, to get the stuck cartridge out. And all the while, your enemies are taking shots at you.
That sounds horrible. I mean, weapon degradation repair mechanics are bad enough, but now you can't even rely on it, that it starts to jam on you.
And also, if you go too long without repairing your armor, then it stops functioning, its main purpose, which is stopping bullets.
Mm-hmm. That is an important aspect. See, in 76, it'll maintain full stopping power till it breaks. In New Vegas, weapon degradation, it does do less damage over time. It is less effective at certain steps along the way. But we don't have that in 76 with the repair and replace. That, as a mechanic, it's logical. It makes sense, but it doesn't sound super fun.
Well, it is fun. It's just not fun when, you're stuck far away from the nearest technician. Then, you've got to try to make it through, without dying too many times.
Nobody to blame but yourself. Yeah. And no, I enjoy that realism too. It depends on the game. If it's an important aspect of it built in, like it is with Stalker. I was watching a few people play Stalker 2 this week too. Not your gameplay, but a few friends. And there was a lot of death, but there were some neat mechanics. There were a lot of cool conversations. I really found a lot to like. It's not just gameplay. There is story and a lot of decision-making stuff in there too.
Yeah. And, there's a lot of consequences. You piss off the wrong people, and now all of a sudden you've got a whole new group of people that are shooting at you. You side with the wrong faction, and now all of a sudden another group of people don't like you and, won't, talk to you. So it's, there's a lot of moving parts to the game. It's a lot of fun to play. And it's the atmosphere is just so cool.
It looks pretty and very atmospheric.
Yeah. But they did have a big patch that came out today. And it did a little bit of rebalancing. One of the worst things is if you get into a space and you've got multiple bloodsuckers, which are the cloaking monsters that attack you.
Oh my God.
Because they were complete bullet sponges.
Mm-hmm.
But they backed off on that a little bit. So, they still kill you real quick if you're not, careful, but it's a lot more manageable now. And the bloodsuckers aren't even the hardest ones to kill. So.
Oh, okay. But any monster that can jump you like that is probably, are they the scariest or one of the scariest?
Yeah.
They're the ones that get in your face, right? With the whole. Ugh.
Yeah. With the Cthulhu head.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. They're the biggest jump scare. they do give you a little bit of warning that they're in the area because they roar. But they're 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 definitely something you pay very close attention to. But by they're the middle of the hardness as far as mutants go. So
What are the toughest? What are the like Womble or what are the tough creatures that show up?
so there's one that the ones that are the hardest to deal with have a psychological element to them. So they can make you drop your weapons. They can cause you to, just convulse, and they send phantom images of soldiers at you that do damage, but that aren't really there.
Oh, okay. Wow. So it's like a multiplicity thing, and they do damage, but they're not really there. So you can't kill them, or you can like pop them out of existence. But
You can shoot them out of existence, but there aren't that many bullets in the game. So you have to focus on killing the monster. Now, fortunately, there are drugs that you can take that help block the psi emissions from these creatures. But
mess with your head to stop the rays, man. You gotta be in an altered state to stop the rays beaming into your brain.
Yeah.
Do they, since ammo's so scarce, do they provide like melee weapons? Are there knives and shit to use instead?
There is a knife, but it's not particularly effective.
It's a butter knife.
It's just a standard combat knife. So it's great for stealth kills on humans, but it's not really effective on a creature like this.
Has psychic attacks. Yeah, I could see how that might.
Yeah.
Kind of like when you're fighting Earl and he sends you away screaming. That's actually one of my favorite aspects of Earl, like the whole losing control for a minute, like running and screaming like that.
Yeah.
I mean, it is a pain, and you're losing damage on him, you're losing DPS, the enemies are regrouping. So I'm sure that happens when it makes you convulse too, but that's neat.
So,
anything else on Stalker, or just that and the couple hours of 76?
so that's been the bulk of the game. I'm up over 200 deaths. So
I'd say, but who's counting? Does the game keep track for you?
yes,
They know what they're doing.
every time you get a death screen, it says, like not long for this world, 200. Do you want to reload? But it's all worth it.
I have to say, Lee in chat said, this is a new definition with the word neat, of which I was not previously aware. It's neat for a game.
Yeah, it's just such a it's very iconic in that, if you played and enjoyed the first 3 games, this one has a lot of tiebacks to those games, because it hasn't been that long, since, the timeline of those games. This is only a few years later, after the final events of the last episode. And some of the same people, one of the first traders that you meet when you're playing is a guy named Sidorovich, and he's in this game in the exact same little bunker that you go, meet him, the first time you start the first game. And so it was fun seeing him. I was really hoping the whole time as I was approaching his bunker, I was really hoping that they would use the the actual character art from that first game instead of making him into an Unreal 5 character that looked all neat and tidy. I wanted him to be that weird composition that that the early games had in their faces.
Sometimes the old school art, when our imagination has to fill in the sketchiness, does have more of a vibe than neat and clean. That's one reason why, I mean, obviously I want the Fallout 3 remastered, other things, but there is an aesthetic to games from a certain time with lower res graphics where they just kind of had to approximate and you do the rest.
Yeah. Yeah. So I happened to be walking by a group of other stalkers, and somebody mentioned a character that you meet in Call of Pripyat. And so I'm anxious to go see him and see how he's doing. His name is Bear.
Checking back on your old friend Bear.
Yep. So, yeah, I really don't have any idea how far along I am in the story. But I've only been to like 5 regions, and there's probably 15 or 20 different regions in the game.
Oh, wow. A lot of times in these games, the later ones are quicker.
Yeah.
They are quicker or just more combat focused, but who knows? That's quite a bit. It's neat being in a game where you don't know the story already, for sure.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So that was it for me.
Killer. Well, I'm curious what Andrew has been up to with his time this week.
Absolutely nothing.
Nothing.
No, just kidding.
All.
I got my Roundtable character up over 50. I was racing to get to 50 just so I could, get that behind me and start working on getting, armor and weapons together. I've decided I'm going with some sort of automatic pistol. Right now I'm enjoying the 10 millimeter pistol, but the max clip of 18 rounds is getting a little bit old, so I was thinking, I'm probably gonna have to switch something. But then I got a legendary for some other weapon that was a quad, and I'm like, oh, I forgot about that. So now I need to get I don't think they go up to level 50. I think it's level 45. Why do they stagger the levels like that? That some that go like 5, 25, 35, 45. Why don't they go to level 50? Why? I don't understand why some start at 10, some start at 20, some start at 5. So weird.
My speculation has always been variety. The fact that unlocking things at 15 and 20 and 25 gives you that staggered, I unlocked. You're not just like, I have 20 new guns I could make, but I'm just going to pick the same one every time at 20. Whereas if you unlock something new at 25, maybe you start trying that one 25 to 30, and then you switch to another one at 30. So okay. I think they stagger variety to make you try or use a variety and also feel like you're getting stuff along the way instead of just like every 10 levels. That's my guess.
So for now, I have fallen on the 10 millimeter automatic large clip, no real sights, anything like that. But it's funny. If you put the suppressor, the large clip and the suppressor on a handgun, and then like play in third person, and you like holding your pistol at your side as you're running around, it looks like the pistol's so oversized that the damn suppressor is like dragging through the ground as you're running. It's so comically large. It is a
donga gun.
It's hilarious.
The idea that in Fallout, a lot of guns are like that. They're like well, how do we make it look like, oh, it's going to be suppressed or more accurate? Just make it longer. And there's like these 6-foot rifles. Like, it's like almost anime-esque. Like, why is the sword comically large? I mean, same with the guns.
But I have to admit, the one Lucy uses in the show does look like thick and bulky and badass. That one is pretty sweet. Yeah, so and I've also decided that I've done two-handed melee to death and I've done unarmed melee to death, but I haven't really done a lot of one-handed. So I've decided to use that as my strength category, and automatic weapons. I've got my assigned card, the blocker, I believe it was, which does 10.
Right.
Does now I have like 15% less melee damage coming in, stuff like that. So I'm working on just getting all my cards. I've gotten all my levels now, but I have a mystery. I go to my sign that like switch your special sign. I forget what it's called, and everything looks like okay. I have all my assigned specials, but then when I actually look at it. Even if I take off all my armor and stuff, did I do? Oh, never mind. I just figured out. I think I did an agility in the legendary things that my special is accounting for. Is that cheating, by the way? If we're assigned a certain special, can I use my legendary perks to up ones that are supposed to be pretty low? Like we never really talked about that so much. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna let Ray be the bad guy. Right?
If I got an agility of 7, is it cheap for me to start taking the legendary agility to beef that up?
Not really, but if it's your one, the one that you have only one in,
yeah,
that one absolutely has to stay one.
Has to stay
Respect the one. Respect the pad roll. Yep.
I can do that.
That's my opinion too. I think I am putting a legendary perk in 1 or 2 of my specials out of the 5 or 6 slots we have open. So, I have 6 slots open, right? That's the max.
Yep.
But
so.
Yeah, I am boosting a little myself, so just a point or two.
Well, I've done mine because I know I'm not going to get this character to level 50.
Right. So you're just picking the ones you have.
I need to do whatever I can to get as close to my special assignments as possible.
Infiltrator is so important. Let's be honest. Ooh.
So,
so
the one needs to stay a 1,
and that was charisma, which I'm fine with. Endurance is always my choice for throwaway. I just even if I look at the entire list of endurance perks, I just think, who cares? I don't need any of the endurance cards, really. I like the fact that endurance gives you more hit points, but I don't find many of the perks super duper useful.
Yeah, that is one of the things that they are changing, obviously, with the update that's going to change perk cards we talked about.
Get on with it.
There will be some things, right, you'll have to just sit and digest, but we'll all be doing that next week. We'll be doing our quest next week, and it'll force us to digest the perk changes as well.
Let's see. I am trying to figure out the best way to harvest legendary weapons. Like I'm going to public events. I'm getting them as rewards, and here's the conversation I need to have. If there is a legendary effect on the weapon that I do want to have, is it best then held to be scrapped because I then have a higher chance of earning that legendary effect as a mod? Or do I just like cash everything into the yellow machine at the train stations and just keep making fresh ones and try to spin what I want? You know what I mean? What's the best way to go about this?
I was answering Lee in chat, so I missed the actual question you were asking about on the perk card.
I'd say okay. The new legendary system, is it better to I can't it's like I can't even put the question into the right word.
Are you wondering if
so
it's better to
weird.
scrap and, just scrap the majority of them to modify the ones you want, or is it better to just script it
Well,
and use Mama Murgo
if
Burgle?
I'm going to these public events, earning, legendary weapons. If the weapon reward has a legendary effect that I like, two-shot or explosive or faster fire rate, something like that, then I am not tossing those into the yellow machine at the train station, the legendary scrap machine, but I'm taking those home and scrapping those at, my normal workbench in hopes that I am more likely to earn those legendary effects that are on those weapons. And if I don't want the legendary effects at all, then I just take it in and earn more legendary cores or modules or whatever they're called. I'm not sure if I'm thinking about that process correctly, but that's what I did this week to try to get it. And I didn't earn any new legendary mods, so I was thinking, how does that work? Do you have to unlock all of the regular mods for said weapon first before legendary mods will start unlocking?
No.
Okay. So
They are two separate systems running in parallel. So you could
Okay.
unlock both a crafting mod and a legendary mod at the same time.
Oh, nice. But the legendary mods they seem so rare that
They
it's just not going to
They
happen, right? At
are.
the same time.
Now,
Okay.
the mod boxes, I think I went over this, but it's essentially you get 1% per star on the weapon of earning a mod box.
Yeah, right.
So you scrap a 3-star, it's a 3% chance, which obviously is 1 in 33. And then it's 1 in 50 for a 2-star and 1 in 100 for a 1-star to get a mod box.
But then you get a 3% chance, but it's not for just one of it's for all three of the things. So it's still just a 1% chance for each of the three.
Right.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Yep. Same chance. And then it's a flat chance for learning how to craft the mod. So again, the mod box is a one-time application, that you take the mod box, you apply it to a weapon
Oh.
I just got a mod box for
Boo.
Cloaked. I can now add it to this weapon. Boom, you used it, it's used. Just like a mod in Fallout 4.
Mm-hmm.
Or some of the other games
But
where
you
you can
can't
apply a
pop
mod.
it off, right?
Unyielding, this and that. No, not in the same way. No,
Yeah.
you apply them and you can overwrite them. But then there's a 1.5% flat chance, like flat no matter what the weapon. It can be the best. It can be a god roll, or it can be just a really crappy, 3-star shovel. You get a 1.5% chance to learn how to craft the mod box yourself. And once you know how to craft it, you can then make them, sell them in your vendor, put them on all your weapons, all that.
But
That's what
so
you want,
I think
right?
the main question Andrew's looking for is there a connection between the mods that are on that weapon that you're scrapping and the mod box that you get?
Right. All
Is
the
it
write-ups
random?
From what I've seen from all my scrapping and all the write-ups on it, it does seem random. Yeah, it does seem random. I don't know that you're likely to get a mod box. Well, okay, so you're saying if it has unyielding and you scrap it, are you likely to get unyielding? Yeah, I mean, I imagine you'd only get the mod boxes for the ones that are on there. I'm not 100%, but I do think that is the case.
So anything
But,
that doesn't
but
have
that would be
two-shot
unlike the weapon. Because if you scrap a weapon and it has a hardened receiver in it, when you scrap that weapon, you may learn a comfort grip.
Right, you can learn anything from that, and you don't have the comfort grip on it.
Right. It's
'cause
got
it's
a
just
regular
possible.
grip on it, but because it's just a random thing that comes up, you're the only thing that you can control is that it's going to be a mod for that weapon.
For
type.
that weapon. Yeah, see, I'm scrolling through a guide right now because my initial thought, like I was saying, was what you're saying now. But then I started being logical halfway through, which maybe not the best idea, but it would be more logical for it to be connected to the type of weapon you're doing, right? Which is why Andrew's asking. But
Yeah, I think that's the big mystery. Is it just that you are going to get any random, weapon?
I'm pretty
mod?
sure it's connected. Yeah, this write-up is agreeing with the logic. It's saying that it does depend on the legendary prefix of the items you scrap. That's what I thought. Assuming this write-up is correct, which this is the one by Duchess that I'm reading right now. So she's usually
it would be a very un-Bethesda
correct
thing to do
on the details. Sometimes they do, though. Sometimes they do.
So for the weapons mods, it does not matter, but for the legendary mods, it does matter.
Exactly.
Nice.
Yep. I mean, that's what I had thought, but yeah, this is actually absolutely confirming it. Here's just an important note, quoting from Duchess's article here. Once you unlock a mod plan, it's permanently removed from your character's pool, meaning you won't unlock the same plan again. That thing that they do. While this ensures that you'll eventually learn all the mod plans, it means the chance of unlocking a new plan remains a flat 1.5% chance you scrap an item regardless of its rating. Important note, if you've already learned certain mod box plans, scrapping more items with those same effects won't yield new plans in that category. However, you may want to still scrap these mods if you're looking for other desirable effects the item has that you haven't yet unlocked. So, if you have unlocked everything a weapon has, you're not gonna, you might unlock a mod box, but you're not going to unlock the plan. You can only unlock that once per effect, and it does depend on the item. Which, again, like Ray said, a little bit un-Bethesda. I'm like, I was second guessing myself, but no, that seems to be right. Which is good.
Yep.
Unless you're getting a bunch of crappy weapons. It also maybe helps you decide whether you want to script it, or scrap it.
Script or scrap.
It's got nothing you want. Why scrap it, right?
Yes. Right. That's what I've been doing all week, was just, if it has an effect I want, I take it back and scrap it myself. And I have not gotten anything all week, so I was wondering, I think it's just rare, if I remember right. It's not that I'm doing something incorrect.
It's so rare. I mean, that first week the new system came out, we had Bob on Facebook talking about how many he had scrapped with pretty much getting no boxes, not learning any plans. And there are people who have, 3 months in now, right? We're 3 months into the changes. And there are people who still don't know how to craft any legendary mods. They've gotten boxes, but they don't know how to craft any.
I saw someone's vendor the other day that was just full of different ones. I was like, how the fuck did you get all these already? Gee, mini Christmas.
They've got to be a farmer.
Grind,
you know what?
Grind.
Exactly. 1.5%. So, you figure every 70 or how that works out, 75 or so, you're going to learn a plan. But that hasn't been my experience, because I'm sure I've scrapped at least 300 now. If I did about 140 the first week it came out, and then just naturally since then, I've probably done 300, and I don't have any plans. But it's like Fashionat masks. There's what the paper says it's going to be, and what it actually is.
And those two calculations usually don't meet up.
So in your notes about gameplay too, you marked something. It's in the game. What is that about?
It's in the game, right? Amazon, I believe it's Prime Video, posted a new docu-series about John Madden football. Their catchphrase was, "It's in the game. It's in the game." Implying that every aspect about football is being covered in this video game about football.
So you can deflate the footballs?
Exactly, right. Perfectly. But anyway, it's a docu-series on, what did I say, Amazon, I believe. And the first couple episodes are about the early 80s, late 70s, early 80s development, like sort of old school video games, and the beginning of Electronic Arts and the birth of that company. And I know they have lots of bad press and like sort of hit and miss, but I remember them coming onto the scene back in the day, and this was sort of a really interesting documentary about the development of Madden. There's lots of John Madden footage on it, and I've always found him to be a really intriguing character. And so it's just a really cool history of video games and history of sports, and there's like this cast of characters who came together to form this video game. Was just a really remarkable crew of people, very diverse and surprisingly so. So it's just a really inspiring sort of a developmental background look at the beginning of video games, pop culture, football, bringing it all together. And the first couple episodes are the way back in the day stuff that I find the more interesting. So I watched that last night, and I thought that was cool. Thought I'd mention that to people.
That's really cool. So it's a multi-part series?
Yeah, it seems to be. I didn't actually see how many episodes there were, but I watched the first couple, and they were all cool. It seemed like they're sort of stretching into the modern stuff now, which I'm a little less interested in. I love documentaries about old school video games and stuff. It's always so much fun.
Yeah, some of my favorites too, for sure. I love the retrospective, mostly because it touches that nostalgia bone for a lot of us.
Absolutely, right.
So, favorite football game or era of football games for video games?
For me, on the Sega Genesis, there was a game called College Football's National Championship that was just really remarkable, and a lot of other games that came along sort of ripped that one off. But I really liked that game.
A lot of people are really excited about the college football, a modern game coming back out too.
Right, I heard they stopped it for a while, but are bringing it back or something. So yeah, that'll be great.
Yeah, that's EA Sports College Football. I think 25 came out, right? Maybe 24 or 25, but it is coming out. I'll admit, most of my football kind of began and ended with Tech Mobile. So I don't have one, but that was a great game on the Nintendo.
That was a really intriguing episode, was when they were talking about going from like that era of Tecmo Bowl where it's just like, oh, look, number 7 for the Eagles scored, yay, instead of, look, Randall Cunningham scored for the Eagles. They're talking about the NFLPA, the Players Association deals with their names, their rights and likenesses and all of that. And that was actually really interesting how the addition of the players' names on the back of the jerseys in the games was actually like the biggest step to getting it to be, like a valid and real entity, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
it's pretty funny.
Eric in chat enjoyed NFL Blitz. I think I've heard of that one, but never played.
I think that was the... Do you remember NBA Jam, where it was sort of like a 2-on-2, sort of like ridiculous game where they're like doing like 360 dunks and like you're on fire and like the balls catching on.
Sure.
I think NFL Blitz was sort of like the football version of NBA Jam, if that makes sense.
Killer, yeah. Nintendo 64, PlayStation in that era. Sweet.
Yeah, good stuff. Also, don't be scared of the electronic rattle board football game from when I was a kid. You know what I mean?
That's the only football game I've ever played.
It might just been called electronic football. I don't even remember what it was called. Electric football, maybe?
Wait, the one you held in your hand with the like things and the dots?
No. This is you plug into the wall, and it's literally a table that vibrates, and you put little miniature football players on it. You have a foam little football that you like stick into one of their hands, and you line everybody up, and then you click go, and then like the table goes brrr, and it all vibrates a little bit, and then all the players sort of like kind of fall over and walk towards each other. Have you never seen that Jess? Oh, it's pretty awesome.
Sounds a little bit like a foosball table, but like electronic. Interesting.
Yeah, the table vibrates slightly. It's a lot smaller than a foosball table, but it's, I don't know, probably 2 feet by 3 feet or something like that. But Ray definitely remembers that, I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
I was thinking of one my uncle had with like green and red LEDs.
Oh,
Back in
those
the
are
day.
fun too. Tiger made
Yep.
these little handheld games that were really good. Tiger had a football one that was pretty darn fun. Yeah.
We're leaning heavy into
The
the
vintage
old
football
games
video
category.
games.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we're past retro into vintage at this point.
Gotta blow the dust off of these. So yeah, that's what I was doing as I was trying to get up to level 50 to start working on my, I haven't even thought about the armor yet. Is there any sort of armor that would enhance like one-handed or automatic pistols, or let's see what would go well with that sort of thing. I have to start thinking about that sort of stuff, and if I want to which legendary effects I'd like to start aiming for the weapons. Like definitely I think I'd have to go quad. You know what I mean? I would like to go Furious.
Quad is always good with a weapon. Yeah, there's very little that it doesn't improve.
I would say Furious would be awesome with an automatic weapon, but especially because it's automatic, those 18 bullets in that clip, like they go like brett brett and it's gone. Like it's seriously just sucks down the ammo
automatic
like
is
crazy.
dangerous. That's why commando people are always looking for more ammunition. It's deadly, but it's costly too.
Our good buddy Casey, you might know him as the Curator. He dropped me like 6,000 rounds a couple of days ago. They're gone. I'm like down to like 400 left. It's
Well-
crazy how many rounds this thing goes through.
Thank you, Casey, wherever you are. Appreciate that. No, I see him over at the gato sometimes. He's around.
So that brings up another question. Is the Armco ammunition manufacturing machine, is that hooked to like a specific event or quest or anything that you guys remember, or is that just sort of like a random plan you can find anywhere? Or I haven't even looked it up. I meant to look that up because I need to start getting a good weapon or a ammunition source going.
The ammo storage machine thing. If you're Fallout
No,
first?
not storage. It actually produces ammunition. You
Yeah,
know what I
the
mean?
ammo machine.
Oh, yeah. Most of us didn't really love that. The ammo conversion machine.
No, not conversion. Production. You know what I mean? Like, you could just tell it which ammo to make.
Yeah, and you put the resources in, and it cranks out ammo.
I never use it. I never, ever,
I don't
ever
know.
use it.
I've got one in the character that has been so long since I played it. I can't remember how I
And
got
I don't
it.
remember what it's called. I think Armco is in the title of the plan, though. I could actually look it up.
Yeah, I just craft ammo by hand out of Tinker's Bench, like Todd intended.
Well, Todd bless you.
Yeah, so that game was made by Tudor, and it's called Electric Football.
It is called Electric Football. Nice.
Yep.
Really cool.
Perfect
Man,
name.
It's awesome.
Silly were mentioning he thought it was a season reward, ballistic energy resources. That might be it, because I remember something like that on the season chart, and I just never built it. Just
Armco
never
ammunition
built it.
construction appliance. I'm sure you guys want to sit here and listen while I read.
I mean, you
So now
can
you get
delete all
this.
that, but yeah.
It can be bought from Mortimer for 750 gold bullion upon
Okay, so you
reaching
can
the
buy it for
Raiders
bullion.
reputation rank of ally.
Got it.
I
Okay.
forgot
okay.
about that shit. There's gold and goddamn.
Oh yeah.
How do I get a jetpack? I totally forgot about that too. Is that also a gold bullion thing?
I mean, for power armor.
No. I did fuck power armor. Actually, I should do a power armor playthrough at some point too, shouldn't I? Auto pistol power armor, is that a that's a RoboCop build right there, isn't it? Freeze, creep. I could do lots of that. Dead or alive, you're coming with me. Come on. It'd be good stuff. All right. Any more playthrough for me? I'm trying to think what else I stumbled through.
I just had a slight question for you
yes.
as far
Yes.
as Christmas decorating. I mean, yesterday was
right.
Thanksgiving.
Right.
Have you already gotten underway at the Andrew household?
Oh, in real life, or
Yeah.
at the
Your
camp?
camp is cool too.
The
But I'm in
campsite.
real life.
In real life, yes. The outside we always do first because it's right about this time of year when Indiana's either it can be in the 70s or teens, right now. And this year we happen to be in the teens. So I started last weekend, which I was really happy about because we were in the 50s most of the last weekend. So I got most of the outside stuff put up, but putting stuff away and getting stuff out and being in storage means that a good 10, 20, 30%, depending on the year, depending on the handling, those bulbs go out on those things. So I, got a big 40 pack of the C7 LED light bulbs, and then today I was going out and replacing bulbs on stuff to try to get everything to light up because, there's a bunch of bulbs and everything, and I almost got frostbite because it's fucking 8 degrees or something with a wind chill in Indiana today. It fucking sucked. But it was very, very damn cold. So I'm glad I'd got the bulk of the work done last week. And the reason that the show is so late tonight is because I am over at my workbench designing and putting together a roof mount because I'm putting a reindeer on my roof this year, which I've never put blow molds on my roof. They've always just been sort of staked down and at the front of my house where we have our plants in the summer. But I also took my favorite blow mold. I was so terrified to do this. One of my favorite blow molds is this reindeer that I have, and it's very cute. My wife got it for me a few years ago, and I really love it. It really is the one of the main attractions, one of the main pieces of the whole collection. I really, really like this. So I was really hesitant to do it, but I thought it would look cool anyway. So I drilled a hole. I drilled its black nose out and sort of rewired it and got a red nose on the front that actually lights up now instead of just being a plain black nose reindeer. It actually has a red bulb on the front and blows up, and it was I didn't it wasn't really sure how I was mounting it, so the end of the bulbs and everything was sticking out and it was all looking really weird, and then I finally got it all sunk in and stuck together, so now it actually looks like it's sort of coming right out of his face, and it actually just turned out better than I could have even expected, which I was horrified I was going to fuck up my favorite one, and I think I made it even better. So I'm really happy that turned out pretty well. But anyway, I'm in the process. I like it so much now that I want to put it up on the roof, but I really don't want it to fall off of the roof, so I'm making a wooden bracket with some hinges so it can match the roof line that'll hold its feet, and I can sort of zip tie it to this bracket so it won't fall off the roof. Or
when you first said you were roof mounting your reindeer, I thought you were doing it on the car, and I'm picturing this Christmas vacation kind of thing. Just
great.
Down.
Man, okay, now you gave me a new idea.
Strap it to the roof, a little sleigh on top, all lit up.
I'm going to put some blow molds on the car. Yes. Never even thought of that.
I'm sorry, Tori.
My wife, I was just about to say, my wife is going to hate you.
But yeah, that's totally what I pictured at first. Also, because we got talking Christmas, I didn't answer your question, but you can put jetpacks on not power armor if you have Secret Service armor or Brotherhood recon armor. And again, those are kind of bullion plan stuff that you can buy, or of course, maybe buy from other players when they're crafted. I'm not sure if they can be shared or not, actually, because I don't use regular armor jetpacks.
So wait, what's the regular armored jetpack again? You said it was on.
It goes on Secret Service armor or Brotherhood recon armor, the ones you can get with bullion after doing Vault 79 and the Wastelanders quest line.
So, God, that'd be a lot of work. That's an investment to get that shit.
It would be, but I'm not sure if other people can trade it. Okay, I'm getting some info from Stratoblaster in chat. mentioning Secret Service is character bound, so you cannot trade that. CE is tradable. What do you mean by CE? We've got the Brotherhood recon, but what is CE? Oh, the civil engineer. Okay, yes, that makes sense. So watch for that and see if someone can get one for you.
I haven't even heard of civil engineer. Is that a style of armor, like Secret Service?
Yeah, you get an armor, it's an armor and an Under Armour and all that. Came out with Atlantic City, I believe.
Oh, Atlantic City. It's not a
it's
not
a
a gold
stamp.
one. It's a stamp. Goddamn stamp.
It's a stamps and drops, if I remember correctly. You get some of them. You get the armor itself from quests, like by actually doing the quest line. But as far as the mods, I'm guessing they're stamps, but I'm not positive. It might be just scrapping.
What was that quest again? What was that quest line called?
Oh, the Atlantic City one. It's the one that's going to pop in your quest log about check out the new nightclub opening. And that's kind of how you start it. You go to the Rose Room and...
But how do you kick it off? I forget. It just starts at level 50 or something, or what?
Oh, earlier than that. You should have a note in your Pip-Boy right now. Investigate the nightclub opening. And it's going to have you click on the Rose Room poster or something. Then you go to the Rose Room and go from there. Which is over at the mansion, the one that's been changed 3 times. Originally old robots, and then the cultists took it over, and now it's a nightclub.
You can, I'll double check so I don't waste a bunch of time or something, but the civil engineer armor is a reward for the Atlantic City quest, and you can put a jetpack, can give me jetpack, on civil engineer armor.
And I believe that you would get that with stamps. That is as far as I know. But,
okay.
I'm not an expert on some of this newer stuff. There have been a lot of changes and things added in the last year or so that I haven't kept up with as well as I should. So, thank you, Stratoblaster, for reminding me about civil engineering.
That's an expedition, right?
Yeah, that's the expedition. Which also, it does have a quest line involved, though, too, which we didn't add it to this expansion roundtable. Because it's not a full expansion, it's just a quest line, but it's a pretty good one.
All right. I'll look into that. Sounds good.
Worth looking into, or at least, getting stuff from somebody if it's tradable. That might be your better bet, because Atlantic City quest can be harder until you're a little higher level.
Hey, I'm level 50. That's as high as we go.
That's true. Okay, you are golden. Speaking of golden,
I am A-okay to do everything. Yo, I got invited to an expedition. Someone was just waving me in. I was like, okay, I'll hop over, whatever, dude. So I came into the expedition with my sub 50 character. I don't know, it was probably in my high 30s or something. And they invited me over. I came in. I got loaded into the world, and they were just finishing up. And they said, "Oh, hi!" Gave me the thumbs up as soon as I arrived, and then it cashed out "Oh, you have cleared this expedition, and here are your rewards." They just invited me to cash in on the rewards. I leveled up 2.5 times, maybe 3 times. It went brink, ding, brink, ding, brink, and I was like, "Holy shit, that was awesome!" I owe that dude a drink. That was great.
Insane. He's just who's a lowbie we can invite to the team for this? That is really cool.
Yeah, that was really fun. And someone sort of did a similar thing. It wasn't nearly as much XP, but on the daily ops, I did a couple of those with low level character, and I leveled up more than once on the daily op.
These end game things. That's one of the ways that people are leveling up so fast these days. Is not just public events, but all these end game things you can join a public team on.
Yeah, that was nice of those guys to sort of escort me through. You know what I mean?
I'm excited to be forced to kind of reintroduce ourselves to all these 76 things. Because, I never stop playing. You get in a zone. You get in a rut. It's like your music collection. Do you still buy new? No, you listen to the old mostly. I mean, sometimes you find new. But you know what I mean? You get just kind of in a zone. And same with 76. I play the way I play, forget the new stuff. I'll play it, but then I don't really think about it. So this is going to force us to think about it. But to hear what people are up to, do you want to hop into some feedback?
Absolutely. Let's do that.
We make feedback.
What's
This is Pyro Anderson. I heard y'all have a time limit with these things, so you know what? Why don't we just skip the other guy?
Seriously?
You heard what I said. Anyway, since the last time I did one of these things, I found this nice guy that had a few mutation serums in his vendor for cheap. God bless people like that. Still looking for a few like Eagle Eyes, but you know what? Having marsupial, healing factor, and speed demon make a hell of a lot of difference. So my pit boy let me know that there were aliens running around. What the hell is going on here? Since when are aliens real? But you know what? I decided to check it out, and what the hell? They started popping up everywhere. Even went down to Fort Defiance for an event there, and there were aliens running around. Why had nobody known about aliens before the bombs dropped? Anyway, I went down to, I think it was Garrahan Mining headquarters, and there were a bunch of aliens running around there, and they kind of reminded me of the aliens that you see in this movie I saw in the vault. I think it was called Close Encounters of the Turd Kind.
Third kind.
If I wanted your input, I'd ask for it. You hush up. That wasn't the only place that they were showing up, though. They also showed up in Monongah, Charleston, Dire Chemicals, the Cranberry Bog, Wavy Willards. I loved Wavy Willards as a kid. But yeah, I was taking out tons of them. They seemed endless. At one point, I was running around with this person that went by Kaiju Kittens. She must have heard a bit of my story last time, so she was nice enough to gift me a napalm flamer. So, yeah, now I can be a proper pyro in the wasteland. After dealing with what seemed like the millionth wave of aliens, I decided to actually go and meet the Brotherhood of Steel. I made my way up to Fort Atlas and spoke to this guy named Russell Dorsey, and he directed me to Night Shin. Here we go. So, Shin didn't immediately accept me into the Brotherhood, which is fine, but he directed me to 4 other people who hoped to get help from the Brotherhood for different reasons. Art Knapp wanted help with raiders, Dr. Blackburn wanted medical supplies, Tally Lang, who seemed hopped up on something, wanted weapons, and Sean Hawkman wanted retribution because he claimed the Brotherhood stole from him. That guy was a jerk. If I wasn't surrounded by a bunch of people in power armor, I probably would have popped him one myself. And as far as Tally Lang goes, she seemed like my kind of woman. If this were any other situation, I think she and I could have a lot of fun together. But I'm not here for that right now. I will say, though, that she needs to get off the chems. You need to be clear-headed for what I do, otherwise you'll end up killing yourself. So I went back to Shin and told him to just forget about all these people. And he wholeheartedly agreed. This is the wasteland. You need to take care of yourself. You're not a charity organization, and if people start thinking that you are, and you're just there to help everybody, they will take advantage of you, and you'll end up with nothing. Heard a lot of bad stories about Shin, but you know what? I kind of like the guy. He knows what it takes to survive in the wasteland. Afterward, he directed me to Valdez. You know what? I kind of like Valdez. Who doesn't? She wanted my help with some pre-war technology, so I had to go find some technical documents, and she wanted to assess my reading comprehension. I don't need to prove myself. It was interesting, though. It described how these pieces of equipment were faulty and how it ended up leading to the downfall of Fort Atlas. Afterward, I had to go take some components with a quote-unquote gentle touch. One of the pieces decided to explode on me, and Valdez is very lucky that I didn't get hurt by that, otherwise I would not have been happy. However, this led to the invasion of a ton of mole rats. But I had my trusty flamer on me, and I fried them. After I took the components out, this led to the robot security going nuts and attacking us on sight. Wasn't a big deal, though. I took them out really quickly. Turns out that these components were ultracite. Valdez did tell me that this was all a test, and I passed with flying colors, so she would pass her recommendation on to Paladin Romani. Anyway, that about does it for this part of the story. So, hey, how do you wrap this up again?
Say see you all in the wasteland.
But we are in the wasteland. You know what? Whatever. I'll see you all in the wasteland.
You don't want to piss that guy off, do you, Jess?
No wonder he and Shin get along. They have pretty much the same charisma stat, I think. No,
Negative
I was gonna
10.
I was gonna say that he doesn't seem like Brotherhood material to me, and then I remembered the Fallout TV show, and I'm like, oh, well, a little bit Brotherhood material. Those guys, they have their place in the rank and file as far as how Brotherhood leadership uses them when people like Shin are in charge.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I thought that was quite the story. I'm glad Pyro finally got his flamer. I'm glad he's able to make rat flambe. I'm not surprised that who he was into on that thing. And I thought it was funny that because Sean isn't even that rude. Like Sean Hawkins is his name, right? He's not even rude. He's just upset, and Pyro wanted to pop him. So yeah, I'm liking the role play. I'm liking the way he's approaching it here, and we're going to see a different side of the Brotherhood with this.
For a second there, I thought you meant our feedback person, Sean, and I was like, Jess, that's rude.
No, I would never. He hasn't popped anyone yet.
Yet.
He's in chat. He's in chat with us right now saying rude.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Solior. Let's go ahead and check in with our good buddy.
Continuing Toe's story from last week. Downstairs, Valdez and Toe found some Atlas decommissioning reports. Oops, Valdez wasn't supposed to let Toe see any of this. But she went on to reveal that the Atlas Observatory wasn't an astronomical observatory, but a research project for another purpose. Their investigation next involved finding any diagnostic tests available on the computers, finding a release valve for the output side of the machinery, and check out the state of the wiring. When done, Valdez confirmed that the pistol wasn't much help against the bloat flies, stingwings, and blood bug that showed up. The diagnostics identified many parts that were broken or misaligned. The pressure release valve caused an explosion, indicating a major blockage. The wiring was chewed on by critters, perhaps the many mole rats and giant rats that appeared during the inspection. Valdez wanted to inspect several parts, pressure gauges, core processor unit, and ion focus, that will need to be extracted carefully. When the induction coil was removed, it revealed an additional component. Toe carefully removed this component from its cradle, and it set off the security system, which led to a battle with too many robots. After the battle, inspection of all the parts by Valdez revealed them to be in good shape and told them that the mysterious component was an ultrasight battery, whatever that is. Valdez went on to explain that ultrasight is rumored to be a nearly unlimited power source. Because of Toe's fine work, Valdez gave Toe access to her terminal to help with the continuing research, a letter of recommendation for Paladin Romani, and a modified .44 caliber pistol called the Fact Finder.
Instead of 44? No. Okay, I can't make those auto.
Yeah, it's 44. It's a good weapon, though. It is a really, really good one to get there. I'm definitely going to be, I'm using it some. I have it as a backup because I'm building for rifles, but I started off, I have the perk cards for pistols as well, so I am using it some.
Is there one of those named public event reward weapons that's your go-to that you like a lot?
So, I don't have many of those, to be honest. None of the ones I use are public reward events, but all of the public event rewards, they do have a place in a build. Like, there are people who enjoy and use them. That's something that they improved, starting with Nuka World on Tour, giving us actual good named weapons for that. Actually, I should say it started with kind of the Unstoppable Monster, when they were doing that as a reward for a while for completing things, and you get those legendaries for getting that done. So Unstoppable Monster was a good one.
Those were daily or weekly challenges, right? Or no? I don't remember where those were first used.
Yeah, it was based on completing a number of weekly challenges, if I remember correctly.
Oh, right. Like
Not nuclear
yeah,
winter.
a two-part thing. You're right. You're correct.
Yeah, stuff like that. And of course, now you get them other ways, which I do love the cold shoulder, for instance, but that's not a public event reward.
That's one that I still use. I don't use any of them a ton. The cold shoulder is one I do like to use. I was just I need to research and see if there's one that's an automatic pistol one somewhere. See if I can dig up that event.
Mm-hmm. As far as getting that one, you can get the plan from Giuseppe with your stamps. You can buy it in the item shop, and you can unlock it. You could unlock it on season 12, which is how I got it. All the OGs, we got it on the season. If you want it now, you got to pay. I love the cold shoulder.
So if I have, but I have it on old character, I can't bring it over. That's one of those things you can't drop.
So Lee's character's name, it's interesting character that we're starting out with.
What was it? Toe Jam? No.
No, not Toe Jam. It's hold on. I'll try to remember.
Toe Cutter.
Toe Cutter.
Sorry.
We got Toe Jam and Earl, people are saying. But Lee's sharing some good pictures over here. Yeah, she's got that backpack. Goodness knows I love getting a backpack right away. And Lee did a level 20 start as well on this one. So he didn't actually get a random character roll. Just kind of rolling his own, going his own way on this one. But she looks dapper. She's got that white wolf fedora.
Yeah, I was going to say the white wolf fedora, and he went down and killed the that Assaultron.
Yeah, the pasta sheep squatch. Mm-hmm.
Right, yeah.
Cool beans. Well, thank you, Lee. I'm glad you finished up that quest for Valdez and worked it all out.
Very nice. Thank you much, Mr. Lee, Mr. Benjamin. So we'll continue on with Sean. Rude.
The Chronicles of Isaiah Pollux, Part 2. Day 17. After spending a couple of days at the Wayward, it was time to head out to find this Brotherhood of Steel. I'll miss Duchess. I think maybe she's sweet on me. After receiving a transmission on my Pip-Boy from someone named Ramani, I now have a solid idea of where I am headed. On my way, I heard a transmission from the Overseer. Sutton was on my way, so I decided to pay her a little visit. She offered me some food and drink and told me she wants me to help with a cure for this scorched plague or whatever. The Nuka-Cola plant is in the opposite direction of where I'm headed, some other time perhaps. I just said, good tea, nice house, and was on my way. Day 20. Finally reached the White Spring, and I was able to restock my supplies and get some rest. These responders are quite annoying. Why does everyone want me help? How have all of these people in the wasteland survived so long without me? Better to get on my way before getting sidetracked again. Seems like a regular occurrence out here. I'm about 5 days from Fort Atlas. I'll be leaving tomorrow morning. Early. Day 27. The Brotherhood of Steel. Took a lot longer to reach this outpost than I had hoped. Low on food and ammunition. This place is a converted observatory. Makes for a good fort these days, I guess. I ran into this dim-witted fellow, Russell Dorsey, out in front. He told me that I needed to speak with a Knight Shin, who was in charge of new recruits. Now, I'm not the recruit type, but I needed to use these folks if I want to find out how to contact Vault-Tec, so I'm going to play along. This Shin guy is kind of a hard-ass and really gung-ho. My kind of guy, but I'm not sure how smart he is. Time will tell. He needs me to speak to a few folks who have come to the fort asking for help from the Brotherhood. Now, these 4 interviews went about as well as you can imagine. One guy, Sean, was complaining that the Brotherhood of Steel stole his belongings. Another guy, Art Knapp, wants to open trade with them in return for protection. And this crazy Dr. Blackburn fellow is looking for tech and supplies. The most interesting, however, was Tally, obviously smashed out of her mind on chems and looking for some free weapons. Shin was equally unimpressed and resistant to helping any of these folks, and frankly, I don't blame him, telling him so in my report. He signed off on my report and pointed me at Scribe Valdez for further training duties, whatever, so I went off to find her. Sweet girl. Needed some help with repairing and then finding some tech left behind by the previous residents of the building. Using my keen intellect, I was able to answer her questions, convincing her I was the right man for the job, and down to the bowels of the building we went. And the place was infested with pests. Why hadn't they cleaned this out before? Who knows? But I was able to pull the parts she needed, including this mysterious component thingamajig, and then the shit hit the fan. There were security robots everywhere. I wasn't sure we were going to make it. She was more of a nerd than a fighter, but was able to hold her own. Good thing I had picked up some more potent firepower, and we were able to bypass the security. This little lady was impressed by my skills and gave me her recommendation in the form of a letter to Paladin Romani, and a sweet pistol called the Fat Finder, I believe. Not really my flavor, but hopefully I can scrounge some parts and maybe improve my current handmade rifle. By the way, what is it with the Roundtable stuff? Knight? Paladin? Come on, it's all very corny. Anyhow, Paladin Romani seems to have her head screwed on straight. She needs me to head back to the forest and clear out some ghouls and establish the Brotherhood of Steel as a force of helpfulness and not some organization geared towards being, in it for themselves. I'm not too sure Knight Shin is on board, but, why not? I can head out that way, stop by the Wayward, and see Duchess again for a drink. In any case, it's off to Lewis & Sons Farming Supply, according to the note I got from the Paladin. Who knows what we'll find there? Wish me luck.
Ghouls, watch out.
Yeah, and what is it with these round tables anyway? He's right. Why would people do a round table? I don't even get it. Brotherhood, am I right?
Bunch of dummies.
But yeah, Isaiah, interesting character. I'm really enjoying the way Sean is voicing him, and I like this perspective. Like Pyro, we are getting a different perspective on the Brotherhood. How we can work with them, how we can use them. He's obviously, he's sweet on Valdez, he's sweet on Duchess, he's sweet on a lot. If I remember his stats, he's got an intelligence of 15, which, coming through, obviously. But charisma of 1 again. So I think, it's funny. Well, some people have the low charisma and they bring that out by being, maybe coarse or vulgar or rude. I think his low charisma comes from perhaps being a little over egotistical. But it's very well done. I super enjoyed that, Sean.
That's the way. I just blanked on his name. The situation has fake charisma, but it's really actually negative charisma.
When you say the situation, are you talking about Jersey Shore?
Mike, the situation, whatever his last name is from the Jersey Shore.
Oh, is it a wrestling thing? I don't know either.
No idea. Yes, beautiful, Sean. Thank you so much.
Ray and I, noted wrestling fans.
Wrestling? I don't think it's a wrestling thing, is it? Who? What? When? I'm confused.
Don't even know.
All right. Thank you, Sean, sir. Keep up the good work, everybody. Sending in the feedback. We have one more coming in from Vanessa. Hi, Vanessa.
Hey, Fallout Feed. It's Vanessa. Just checking in with the first feedback for my Roundtable character, Mr. Sophie. He's a random role character, so some of his assigned stats and specials and whatnot are, for specials, agility 15 and endurance 1, and then everything else is kind of middling 7, 8, 9. Assigned perks, I've got 3 so far: Cannibal, Strongback and Lone Wanderer. His camp location was to be in Savage Divide on an aluminium spot, so I've found one on a map just south of, is it Temple of the Winding Way? Something like that. So I've set up there, but I've mainly been using a camp on a junk spot near Deathclaw Island for now, but that's getting a little bit out of the way, inconvenient being up in the north there. His faction is Foundation, and his ally is to be a settler forager, although I've ended up doing the quest line, starting off the quest for Commander Daguerre, so she's in my camp at the moment, moaning on about nightmares, so I'll probably keep on progressing her quest for a little bit. In terms of his background, he's got Sniper as one of his perks. I haven't picked that one up yet, but so he's going to be a gun build, so I took the level 20 gunslinger start, but I've ended up switching over to rifles quite quickly, just more fun to use. He's also got as assigned perks Ammo Smith and Weapon Artisan, so he's obviously a practical kind of person. So for his background, He was a toddler when his parents went into the vault as part of the support staff. As an adult, he was assigned to the growing maintenance team that was needed to keep the aging vault machinery up and running. And during a severe outbreak of sickness in the vault, he spent a large amount of time in the med bay helping keep everything there up and running, becoming the go-to person for the equipment in that department. While deaths in the vault were uncommon, with the amount of time spent in the med bay, developed a morbid fascination for human corpses and the possibility of eating them, an urge that he obviously knows he can't give in to while he's in the vault. Come Reclamation Day, he's as ready as anyone to make his way in the outside world, after having spent 20-odd years serving the vault and feeling like a bit of a second-class citizen, not being one of the great and good chosen by Vault-Tech as the future of the new world. Mr. Sophie's keen to be the master of his own destiny. He spent his early weeks drifting around the wasteland picking up bits of work for the responders down at the lumber mill, for Duchess and for the settlers at Foundation, and away from prying vault eyes has finally given in to his cannibalism, so far only settling for super mutants or ghouls. He can't quite bring himself to eat a human. So planning to ramp up his cannibal side gradually as we go through the story, so he'll go from ghouls to maybe picking off the odd raider and then becoming more open about it. So by the time we get to Skyline Valley, it's every battle and all-you-can-eat buffet for Mr. Sophie. Fast forward a little bit, and a now overconfident Mr. Sophie is on the receiving end of some chastening encounters in the Cranberry Bog. Realising that perhaps he can't make it alone, he looks to create some stronger ties to local factions. The Brotherhood up at the forward station near Vault 76 looked well armed and well supplied. Perhaps he'll seek more of them out. So he makes his way to Fort Atlas, where he reports to Knight Shin, who's clearly not listened to the "Hey, we're here to help" radio broadcast. The Knight sends him off to go and chat with several settlers hoping to do business with the Brotherhood, but by the time he's halfway through, Mr. Sophie stopped paying attention to them if he's honest, but since the Knight will ignore them all anyway, it doesn't really matter. With a pat on the back, he's sent to meet Scribe Valdez, who has a more suitable test for potential recruits, and they head off together into the bowels of the building. The first enemies they encounter are a handful of insects and, well, this is embarrassing. Switching to a machete to conserve bullets, he flails about wildly as if trying to swat them away from a picnic rather than kill them. Luckily, the scribe seems equally inept, but eventually they move on. Passing Valdez's impromptu machinery exam with flying colours, it's not until removing the mysteriously named mysterious container that further problems are encountered. This time, a swarm of robots appears from nowhere, and while the iBots are easily taken care of, Mr. Sophie loses his bearings entirely and burns through stimpaks and bullets at an alarming rate, trying to spin round the cluttered room to get at the Protectrons. Still, mission accomplished with a glowing report from Valdez. His vault maintenance skills have served him well here, and the Brotherhood evidently place great value on combat mediocrity. Paladin Romani is not completely satisfied, however, and a field test is needed before he can be fully admitted. So, yeah, that's where I've got up to at the moment. It's been a pretty chilled playthrough so far, just ambling around, doing odd quests here and there, joining a few events and opening up the map a little bit. A few inglorious deaths. For some reason, I'd got the impression that there was no full damage in the game. But yeah, turns out there is. So I'm about level 29 now, so kind of in the early stages of taking shape, build-wise. Although I think after the problems we had with the little Protectron fight there at the end of the quest line, probably need to look at some damage reduction a little bit. Anyway, that's it. So thanks for listening. Until next time, bye.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Vanessa. Damage reduction blocker. I was sort of mocking it earlier on when I was sort of like, ooh, blocker, it's a passive thing. I don't get it. Actually, I see a tremendous amount of difference, but it's only
really helps
for melee. But it really does absorb a lot of the punch. But it's yeah. I was getting my ass wet for a long time, and I finally got a blocker. All just three levels in a row. I just went bam, bam, bam. Decided, I'm going to go ahead and get blocker just because it's my assigned one. I'll get it, and knock it out of the way, and then we'll see if I'll actually use it or not. And so far, I'm really enjoying it. So.
Yeah, the enemies that gang up on you the most tend to be melee. Like, obviously, you hit a lot by range, but there's pauses between, unless they're using a minigun. So it makes a big difference. Mr. Sophie, cool character so far. If I remember, top stat was agility, and lowest stat is endurance. So a bit weak out there. We're talking about how endurance is a dump stat, but may not be as much in the future. So there may be some things that she wants to use that she can't. but cool idea for a character. Seems to be going well. And the fact that this is Vanessa's introduction to 76 too, she's all
I
in.
forgot
We were
about
talking.
that.
Yeah, we were talking about it on Discord the other day because she hadn't really made it more than like 5 or so hours, I believe she said before, into the game. And so now she's learning all these new things. Yeah, fall damage is a thing. Maybe a little less, and you can get armor and stuff to mitigate it, which helps.
Let's see.
But
There's
it
also the
definitely
goat
thing.
legs card, right? There's goat legs and what's the fall damage mutation? Like bird bones or something, right?
Yeah, that does help. That does help slow your descent. So that helps a lot. But what is the legendary perk for armor? I mean, I know it says minus fall damage. That's one of the problems with having the advanced legendary descriptions on now, like I was talking before, is that you stop remembering what the names of the various things are.
And you know me, I'm never
another
helpful
thing that
with
I
names.
noticed about Cannibal is not only did they speed up the animation, but if you are if you have your weapon out when you initiate Cannibal, it doesn't take you to the view of you eating the corpse.
Mm-hmm.
You just stand there with your gun pointing out, and you hear the sound.
Oh,
And
but
then
you
it
don't.
moves.
Okay, wow. And how do you have that happen so you don't actually see the animation?
If you just have your gun out.
Oh, see, I've done Cannibal with a knife out, and I still get in there and do my thing.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize with a gun.
Yeah. So I'm running around with a laser pistol.
I wonder if that's a PC thing, maybe too. It could be like just a feature in your install because you know how sometimes things work, sometimes they don't.
Right. Yeah. If I holster the weapon, then it does the regular animation. If I have the weapon out, then it does the it doesn't change the view.
The fall damage perk, legendary perk, is called Acrobats. Yeah, there's no fall damage if you're in power armor, of course. Absolutely. Wow, which we're getting in chat. And also for regular armor, it's Acrobats is the legendary thing that helps with that. That's fantastic. I look forward to everybody's continuing adventures for sure.
Absolutely.
And, we didn't get from a couple of our roundtable participants who sent character feedback last week, we didn't get updates on them, but we probably will. Some of them are going to be a little staggered, and we'll eventually align them and straighten it out. 2 reasons. Partly because I didn't do a character intro week, so we kind of overlap that, and people aren't used to it. And also, when I created the season schedule, and I'm sure some people looked at it, if you might remember, I was off by 1 episode number on most of the episodes. So we're going to fix that. I got the date right, but I'm off by the episode number. So sorry, anyone who's following along on that and you're like, wait, I didn't think this was a feedback week. Yeah. Sorry. Don't look at the dates, not the numbers.
Wah, wah. Hey, thank you so much, everyone, for your feedback. While we're hearing from people from the community, let's go ahead and check in with Will, who was nice enough to send us in Clara Duran's notes from Watoga High School here in Fallout 76. Thanks, Will.
Hey everyone, Will here with Terminal Velocity. I figured with our return to Fallout 76, I would read some stuff from 76 to go with that. So I'm going to be reading Clara Duran's notes. It's a series of notes. There's 4 of them that can be found inside Allegheny Insane Asylum. Notes, 1177. It's hard to believe that I was going to be taking my students here on a field trip before everything went nuts. I'm so very thankful that I read up on this place and was able to make it here along with the other refugees. Watoga is lost. We can't go back while the robots are running amok. The little bog towns and farms in the countryside wouldn't be able to sustain us the way this place can. Allegheny Asylum has everything that we need in order to really make a go of it, but there's so much work ahead of us. Priority list: Find a working terminal or repair a broken one. Water treatment facility is having problems and may need to get another thorough cleaning. Keep the coal coming. It's going to be winter really soon. Get each survivor a room with a bed, coal burner, and adequate shelter. Organize volunteers to teach some of my fellow Watogans how to cook and etc. Find where the darn roaches are coming from and seal it off. Organize scouting groups for different kinds of supplies, especially seeds. Get the kids sorting scrap. Try to catch that weird-looking cow if it comes back. This place has a dairy, so let's use it. Other things that we really need to work on is just getting along with each other. Notes 1277. We caught the cow. We had a vote to pick a name for her, which was a good social exercise. I didn't expect it to become quite so heated, though. I guess some folks get worked up over anything. Anyway, her name is Bertha. Some aggressive dogs had Bertha stuck in an empty fountain, poor thing. We had to kill them just to get to her. I guess we all get to see what dog tastes like now. I'm not excited, but it can't be worse than canned dog food. Priority list. Notes 178. Saffron fell through some floorboards while scouting on the second floor and sprained her ankle. All things considered, we lucked out. It could have been much worse. Just close up that area for now. Priority list. We need more coal. Get more rooms for survivors. Keep training Watogans on the basic. Send scouting groups to look at nearby farms for supplies and survivors. We need more seeds and we have plenty of chems to trade. Someone mentioned they saw some chickens on a foraging run. They'd go great with Bertha in the barn. Milk, eggs, and grain would go a long way to sustain us. Sometimes these folks remind me of my students on a bad day. Cliques are threatening to split the group, and we need to stop all the little personal insults and jibes if we're going to have some chance of revitalizing this place enough to really make a life here. I'm hopeful despite it all. Without hope, what would be the point of carrying on? Notes 378. Our group was attacked by desperate folks who weren't interested in trading with or joining our collection. Such senseless violence. They killed Bertha, even though I showed them that she was a milk cow, and all the egg-laying chickens too. Half the remaining group left for Monongah, saying they couldn't continue to carry the survivors from Watoga. They warned us not to follow. Those of us who are left are abandoning Allegheny tomorrow. The people who attacked us would just be back for more eventually. I think they're from that little town north of Watoga where I bought preserves and antiques. So we're going to try to find survivors up north near Harper's Ferry. It's a long walk, but hopefully we can find other good people or just avoid the bad ones.
To participate in the Fallout Terminal Velocity Project, send your special letters, holotapes, and terminal entries to thefalloutfeed@gmail.com.
Yo, that's pretty intense. They were like, we got to abandon this place. Do not follow us.
Yeah, that was pretty intense. Now, for those who didn't catch the story, this is Clara Duran. She's a history teacher from Watoga who, with a number of other Watoga refugees, made their way to Fort Defiance or Allegheny Asylum. This is before the Brotherhood took over. So they were there, from what they're talking about, for a good year and a half, almost 2 years, setting up a community, getting that dairy cow we heard about, and chickens and all that. But I guess after raider attacks and the issues, it is kind of odd that the one group, when they split, the ones that were alive said, we're going to Monongah, don't follow us.
Do not follow us. We hate you.
I guess it was maybe two groups trying to kind of live in harmony. And so, yeah, they went to Harper's Ferry, which is cool. I don't remember Clara ever being mentioned in a Harper's Ferry note or terminal, but I do like the connection there. And I'm glad to hear that the raiders hopefully didn't kill anyone, because that wasn't mentioned, that they took their supplies and they took their animals and killed Bertha for
They killed
steak.
Bertha? Bertha's somebody. Don't just dismiss Bertha.
I mean, I like steak too. But no, she was a milk cow.
Yeah, she's a milk cow. She tastes terrible.
That's awesome. Yeah, loved it, Will. Thank you for the feedback.
Beautiful,
and that is a good
Will.
story to remember, because it's one of
Yes,
those
sir.
ones you forget about.
Thank you so much for your submission. If you'd like to participate in our terminal velocity project, please send your stories, letters, notes, Pip-Boy entries, whatever things you find out there in the wasteland. Send them on over to thefalloutfeed@gmail.com. Love to hear from you. Fills up a lot of the backstory and the lore of the places we're going and checking out. All right. Thank you so much, Will. Let's go ahead and get into some iguana bits, shall we?
Jessica, to the office, please. Jessica, to the office. Your iguana bits are ready. Please come pick them up. So, sometimes we have megabytes. I've heard of those. But have you heard of megabits? Because we are having some mega iguana bits this week for the mega bundles in the Atomic Shop.
Oh, mega bundles. What's up?
It's all coming up mega. We got mega blocks, mega bits, mega bundles. So they didn't have anything new in the Atomic Shop this week. But they didn't want to say, we don't have anything new because people complain. So what did they do? They said, what if we took this bundle and that bundle and that bundle and we smooshed them all together into a mega bundle? So if you look on your new page, it's not actually new stuff, but it is new combinations of things on the front page of the Atom Shop with some mega bundles. We've got the Nuka-Cola Mega Bundle for 3,000 atoms, approximately $30. Of course, if you buy atoms in bulk, you get them for less, but it's pricey. You've got the Woodland Hideaway Mega Bundle. Andrew, I don't know if you've looked, or Ray, can you guess how many atoms for the Woodland Hideaway Mega Bundle?
I'm going to go for 3,500.
Okay. Andrew, higher or lower?
$35 for a fucking bundle. I don't think Jess would bring it up if it wasn't a big deal. So let's even go higher. Let's go higher just to call it.
It is, in fact, higher. The Woodland Hideaway Mega Bundle is 4,500 atoms.
I'm walking out. I quit.
But, Andrew, no, this is a deal. It's not just a bundle. It's a mega bundle. So,
mega bundle just means, okay, we had these things bundled. No one bought these bundles of these crappy items, so we need to put them in an even bigger bundle to try to fool people to think that they're getting a good deal on this crap that nobody wanted in the first place.
I mean, in some cases, some of the items in there are like that. That's the thing when you buy, when you buy in bulk, when you get like a potpourri. There's a couple items, flashy ones right in the front of the package. You see them, you're like, oh, that's amazing. And then behind it, you have, the cheese that nobody wants. You're like, oh, summer sausage, blah, blah, blah. And I mean, I love a good cheese, but then there's the crappy stuff. There's the crappy stuff behind in the straw. And you're like, I don't know if I want that.
No, thank you.
Yeah, this is a very allegorical iguana bits today. But so the funny thing about this is that there's actually a Black Friday sale on regular bundles. So if regular bundles are like about 1,000 to 1,800 atoms, okay, a reasonable price. Right now, they're 25% off. So a lot of regular bundles are on sale. But are the mega bundles on sale? No, the mega bundles are the sale. Which, you do save money, but as far as buying them individually. But if you're only going to buy 50% of what's included, let this be a lesson for your life, everybody. Everybody, don't forget. Just because something's on sale, you don't have to buy it. You know how you save more money? By not buying the thing you don't need, even at 50% off.
Exactly. That's exactly how you save the most money. Not by buying stuff on sale, but not by buying it at all.
This comment brought to you by Black Friday, which it is today. So, you guys, here's another question. Do you think that $4,500 Woodland Hideaway Mega Bundle is the most pricey of the new Mega Bundles?
It must not be.
Yeah, I'm going with no.
This is what we call a leading question. You are correct. Because, of course, the faction with the most expensive Mega Bundle, the Brotherhood of Steel. If the Brotherhood of Steel was real, they would be heavy into merchandising. Style over substance. They're like, yeah, we're here to, take your technology and keep you safe, but also buy our t-shirts because their Mega Bundle is 5,500
Oh my
atoms.
God. For that price, I better get my own vertibird to fly around town.
Yeah, and while that is essentially $55, of course, when you buy your atoms in bulk, which hopefully, if you buy your bundles in bulk, you buy your items in bulk too. You're only, you're only paying like $35 or $38 depending for your 5,000 atoms. But it's a lot.
Only
$35
for electronic bits.
Yeah, exactly. These things that have no inherent value except what we place upon them in our digital world with our digital lives. Take the earlier advice where, once again, you save more money when you don't buy the thing you don't need. But here is a thing to take into account with all this joking. That the new system that they've had, I say new, it's been a couple years now, but where you own items in a bundle and it subtracts that percentage of the item from the bundle. So if you've already bought 40-50% of this stuff, you're only going to see it at half the price. Your 4,500 atom bundle is now 2,200 atoms. You're like, that's not too bad. But look at the description, because chances are the things that you already own on it are also the things that you wanted. You already got, that delicious sausage. You already got that smoked Gouda. You don't need the tasteless, flavorless crackers in the straw. I'm thinking about gift baskets. It's the holidays. What can I say? Anyway, so yeah, just buyer beware. And by beware, I mean, don't do it unless you really want it. Take a look at what you're buying first. You don't have to keep up with the Joneses. The Joneses don't have to keep up with the Smiths. We're all okay. You can unlock most of the plans you need. But I know, like Stratoblaster in chat, Camp Builder, and other camp builders, yeah.
You got to remember that this is literally them just shaking the tree before the big holiday drop. You know what I mean? This is all the bundles. This is all the shit. They're trying to suck all your atoms out of you so that you have to re-up when Christmas drop comes in a couple of weeks.
And that leads us into our next reminder. The update is next week. New season starts December 3rd, so we are 4 days away. And as always, there will be, over the holidays, a couple of, new items, new things to pick up. And they almost always have big sales in the last month of the season before the next season starts when you get new things. So this is your friendly folk at the Fallout feed reminding you, you live longer if you save more. Don't be a sucker. That's a better tagline. I like that one, Andrew. I'm going to use that.
Do it.
So with the update next week, we've talked about this a bit, of course. I think everyone is aware that it's coming. But just a quick reminder, it is Season 19, the Scientific Forge. That's the next season. And some cool stuff with it for apparel. It's Enclave themed, like we talked about. But there's these cool golden Enclave outfits, scientist goggles, officer outfit, military fatigues, a gold eye patch. You can be very Bond villain. If you want to go full Enclave Bond villain with the season, you can.
Blofeld.
For camp rewards, we've got stuff related to pets, which is in the update. We'll talk about that in a second. But some fun ones looking at, because I have gone through all the rewards now, the data mine stuff and what they published. There's a black cat and a white German Shepherd as options. A dog leaf pile. A leaf pile for the dog to play in. That's pretty great. I love that. Okay, wait. Here's a season reward everybody needs. A box of papers. Yes. Do you want a box of random papers in your camp? Are you tired of the objects in your camp having a purpose? Are you looking around your office and saying, hey, I'm surrounded by useless paperwork. I need more of that in my games.
This office is not authentic enough. I need a bunch of paper in a box. That'll do it.
Or if you want to play doctor, there's an operating table for trugs. Now you can operate on aliens and trugs.
All right.
Find what makes them tick. Spoilers, you don't want to know. You can get a Deathclaw hand in a jar. You can get mole miner junk. Let's not.
Mole miner junk in a jar.
We'll see what that. We'll see what the mole miner junk is when we unlock it. I think it's just a collection of junk, like they carry on their back when you're hunting the poor little mole miners. There's an industrial fan. There's a taxidermy mole miner head, a scientific beaker stein, all kinds of fun stuff. Oh, there's a cool orbital crate stash box. I like that. I like the new crate. So yeah, there's a neat mix of things. Gonna be fun. Now, as far as what's coming in the update besides the season, we've talked about this in depth, so I'll just give you a quick overview again. we are getting camp pets. We are getting camp pets in our camp. Dog and kitty, I believe we will probably unlock the default. And then you can, of course, get skins for them if you want specific breeds. So there you go. The new Gleaming Depths raid, which will kick your ass. Spoilers. Whoever you are, I don't care who you are. This raid will kick your butt. But it's a 4-person raid, and it's pretty fun. But it's also butt-kicking. The 4-star legendary items are coming. I don't know a whole lot about them yet and everything, how they're going to work, so can't wait to see that. But there will be 4-star legendary enemies to go with. So it's not just 4-star items, but 4-star enemies. Which, I mean, it's probably kind of like, when you get like the 3-star level 100 behemoth or something? Probably just that.
I don't know. They're going to be a lot harder now?
I mean, top tier probably will be, but are they just bullet sponges or do they hit harder? I'm hoping hit harder because, again, we don't love bullet sponges, and that is the classic Bethesda enemy. How are we going to make Earl harder? Well, let's just make Earl take forever. And we'll subject you to the same weak damage. I'd rather they are more damaging and hit harder, like in this raid, which they do. They do. Be careful what you ask for. But I'd rather they do that.
She likes
make it a little
dying.
more. Make it a little more like Stalker than like high level Fallout 4. Non-survival. That's what I'm saying. We're getting player titles. Don't forget about that. That's going to be really fun. You get a prefix and a suffix. There's going to be a bunch. So, we can have people out there. Little Lord Fauntleroy, the level 4,000 BOS Paladin. I mean, I don't know. But there's a lot of fun names. They're tied to things you have done, quests, goals and achievements, and challenges that you have completed. And for those of us who have already done just about everything, they'll be retroactive. So that's going to be fun. Finally, perk card changes. We'll know more about that. I mean, we discussed it a bit last week. There's a full article on it. But the long and short is a lot of 3 and 2 stars are going down to 1 or 2 in some cases if they're going for 3 to 2, but most of them going down to 1. A few being moved to endurance. And the way that they apply the effects are changing, but not the effects themselves for the most part. So there will be some that are nerfed, but overall, I think it's a good thing. And that is the update news. I got a few other things. Let's see. Guys, megabits. I mean, we're past the bundles, but there's still a lot to hit. So, here's something I haven't mentioned in Iguana Bits for a year. Hey, you guys remember Minerva?
Oh, yeah. How'd she do?
Yeah.
Get a postcard or something?
She gets you some of those gold plans for cheap. You're looking for that jetpack or Secret Service, whatever, or what have you. You can get your bullion plans from her for less. And since you can get bullion even without doing the Wastelanders quest line now, because you can get it from the seasons and the board, or you can get it from events. Maybe you can go buy what you need from Minerva anyway. But she will be at Fort Atlas. So yeah, because we're doing the roundtable there, I figured I might as well mention her. We've got Minerva at Fort Atlas in 2 days, and she should be there for a few. So stock up on plans for your new characters if you've done some public events.
That's a great idea.
Finally, there is a push from Bethesda this year, which I appreciate because if you didn't know, your girl tried to do this last year on social media. But Bethesda is actually pushing it this year. They send out tweets on all their social channels and an article. Nominate Fallout 76 for the Steam Awards. So here's the article I'm going to quote. The Steam Awards are coming, and you can nominate Fallout 76 for the Labor of Love category. Vote to nominate Fallout 76 on Steam with a link to the Steam Awards. We'd like to take this opportunity to tell you how far we've come since Fallout 76 launched in 2018 and just how special you all are. Our key focus over these 6 years has been to build up this amazing community and evolve our game to continually meet their needs through more than 50 free updates. Along our way, our game has grown, and so has our community of players. Since launch, we've welcomed over 21 million Vault dwellers to Appalachia. Then, end quote for now. The article goes on, and they kind of talk about, just kind of boosting what they've done. Talking up all the things they've done to the game, what they've done, how many new players have joined, that sort of thing. And so, yeah, they're like, well, maybe we can make this happen. I just think it's funny because last year, because Labor of Love is a writing category, I tried to get this going on Twitter and a few places. Obviously, I did. I don't know how many people did. I got retweets, stuff like that, but I'm, not a chance. Let's be honest. 76, Labor of Love category, wasn't a chance last year. But this year, with all the updates and the TV show and all the new players, I think Bethesda thinks there's a chance. So please do your part. Sign into your Steam account and vote for the Labor of Love Award for Fallout 76. And that needs to be...
Out of the 53 updates, how many can you name off the top of your head, Jess?
Wait,
that's a scream at your phone list later. All right, I'll
it is,
put that
and
one
they
together.
say 50 free updates, but technically, I think there's only 21 named updates. Keep in mind that they treat the major ones with names now. Originally, it was update numbers, then they switched to names. But things like the Legendary Run, or obviously Wild Appalachia is a big one we all know. Locked and Loaded. So many of these, they have names. And when they did the presentation on 76 and the updates this summer, they listed 19, and so now there would be one more since then. So I think we're at 20 major updates. For the free ones, they don't all have names that they're referencing here. I think they just like the bigger number. But yeah,
Beautiful.
Give it a vote. I'm trying to see when it closes. I don't have that information in front of me. Gonna go to the Steam webpage real quick and see if it says. Oh yeah, ends December 4th at 10 a.m. So y'all vote by December 3rd. Write in Fallout 76 for the Labor of Love Award, and also vote on the other stuff because, there's a lot of cool games out there that deserve your recognition, and you have a voice. Because if you're like, I don't think Shadow of the Erd Tree, a game expansion, should be nominated for Game of the Year at the Game Awards. Maybe you're right, and maybe you can make your voice known by voting on these awards. I saw your mouth twist, Ray. I know, it's a thing. That's it for the bits.
Bits, get out of here. Done with those bits. Well, is there anything else that you guys would like to come up with tonight before we get into some shouts?
I will mention next week's Roundtable quests. Next week,
let's go over our schedule, see what's getting into the next couple weeks.
We are doing field testing and disarming discovery. So we've got 2 quests to do. Field testing and disarming discovery. Romani will send us out, and we will run into some of what's happening out there in the wasteland on our new characters. And then, of course, feedback for those would be in 2 weeks.
Sounds good. All right, so we'll do our quests next week, and we'll hear from you guys 2 weeks from now. So that sounds like a good plan. Ray, anything else you'd like to cover, sir?
No, I think I'm good.
In that case, you can find him over there at BBC ISSS for all your butcher, baker, and candle maker in space. No Man's Sky needs Ray. Thanks so much for hopping on.
Good times.
Jess can be found over in our Discord, as can Ray, and Jess can also be found over at there. See, Sleep is 4T, also at Dames Who Game, and at You Wastelanders. And Jess, you'll have to tell me the new show.
Let me slip in a couple of shouts here real quick. I did have a shout.
I forgot about the shouts. Sorry, I just skipped right over the shouts. Sorry about that.
No worries. No, I jumped in with the Roundtable quest. But we had a video. Brennan and Andon posted, I think 2 weeks ago. It was a Polygon interview with Einan Zur called Fallout Score is More Important Than You Realize by Polygon. I thought it was a really neat interview because, as you know, Einan Zur has been composing for the Fallout series from the beginning. He's done a lot of, the original theme and then all the variations and a lot of stuff through it. So just really fun for him to talk about kind of the power of it, how he didn't, necessarily know the impact, which of course has become huge, and how he's done the variations and tried to keep that going through the, the various games. So that's like a 16-minute watch. Fallout Score is More Important Than You Realize, and I thought it was good. And then for my new show, it's the Starfield Lorecast. It does have a handle on Twitter, but it's not used. I'm not going to use it. We'll probably shut it down. Just at Sleep is for Tea, like always. But you can find the show on podcast services around the globe, everywhere. Just look up Starfield Lorecast. It's on the Robots Radio Network as opposed to ASA Podcasting, but it's connected. I'm bringing people over. I'm cross-pollinating. It's the first episode launched today, and
beautiful.
I highly recommend, giving it a listen if you're interested in, obviously, Starfield. But the guest this week, my friend Darren, D.W. Pierce, Like I said, he is a games writer for tabletop and video games. He's done writing about games on the web and articles and such. And he has published his first novel. And so we talk a bit about how he got into working in games, because everyone's journey is different, but people often ask, hey, how do you get more involved with studios? How do you start, doing this around games or that around games? How do you meet people? All these things. And I thought his journey it's unique. It's different. And Darren's just a regular guy. I mean, they're all just regular guys, but Darren's just a regular guy who followed his passion, followed his heart, and took his fiction to the next level. So yeah, you guys might find it a little inspiring. I think he's a great guy, and we're really lucky to have him. So check that out, please, if you would. Yeah.
All right, sounds good. Hey, I'd like to thank everyone for downloading this edition of the Fallout feed, and we will see you in the Wasteland.
Thank you for downloading this episode of the Fallout Feed Roundtable. If you are interested in doing a play-along character with us, the show can be contacted by emailing falloutroundtable@gmail.com. For the Roundtable schedule, our Amazon link, and all other show information, please head on over to asapodcasting.com, where you will find the Fallout feed, a Skyrimatic podcast, our YouTube channel, the Chatterbox, as well as other content. Once again, thank you for downloading, and we'll see you in the Wasteland.
Find where the darn roaches are coming from.
You already got that delicious sausage.
I guess we all get to see what dog tastes like now. Try to catch that weird-looking cow if it comes back. We caught the cow.
He flails about wildly as if trying to swat them away from a picnic rather than kill them.
What is it with the Roundtable stuff?
Fortunately, there are drugs that you can take. Bang, bang, click.